Happiness. We all want it. Most of the time, we don't even know what it is or how to have it. We keep chasing it relentlessly, and yet it eludes us. I will be happy once I get admission to that college, or I get that promotion, or I go on that vacation, or I buy that particular house, or I lose that extra weight, or look a certain way, etc. etc. Then once we get that, we are excited for a short while, and then we want something else to be happy. Our goalposts keep moving, and we keep chasing after them in pursuit of happiness. And eventually, we do realize that that's not the path to true fulfillment and happiness. But is it really wrong to think this way? These accomplishments, achievements do give us happiness. They also help us grow, don't they? We are all taught one formula for success, which is this: if I work harder, I will be more successful. And if I am more successful, then I will be happier. That defines most of our parenting and managing style and the way we motivate our behavior. But the problem is, it is scientifically broken and backwards. Every time your brain has a success, you just change the goalpost of what success looks like. So then, what is missing? How can we be happier? Let's find out. Namaste. I am Gargi and you are watching The Aligned Souls. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos on building a healthy mind, body and soul. Let's jump into the topic. A while back, I was pursuing my PhD. During those years, all I could think of was the day I would complete my PhD and get that coveted degree. I would create images in my head of how happy I would be, almost dancing over the clouds. I worked hard, trudged through the sleepless nights. Eventually, I did complete my research work and my thesis, made the presentation, and then, after some patience, no, a lot of patience, there it was. I was holding my dream in my hands. I had a doctor to my name. All that struggle was worth it. I had arrived. I was super excited that day, and that excitement lasted a few more days. But then, slowly, everything went back to usual. I had new goals, new milestones to cross. That degree was just a step. I had to achieve more to be happy again. Until I get my next goal, I am not satisfied or completely happy. Why is it that this happiness barometer keeps changing? Why can't I be always happy? Sometimes I wonder if there could be a magic pill, a place or a thing to do that gave us that ultimate happiness. I researched a lot on the topic, referring to books, research papers, interviews, and anything I could lay my hands on. A lot of literature on this topic is very abstract, and I was looking for some nuggets of wisdom that I could apply in my day-to-day life. I did not want to give up everything and be a monk to reach that state of bliss. I was digging in for some practical tips. This is a very vast topic and I can't possibly cover everything in a small video. But these are some of the best frameworks that I have been able to apply personally in my life and seen a lot of difference. Hope these will also help you become a happier version of yourself. And I would love to know any other ideas or suggestions that you have on the topic. Please do comment below and let me know. Enjoy the ride. Close your eyes for a few minutes. Go back in time when you were a kid and try to remember the excitement with which you used to play with your friends. Could be any sport or activity. In those moments, you were in the flow. You just played because you wanted to, not because you had to accomplish something or get selected in this or that league. You loved the act itself. Let's go back to my example now. While I was working on my thesis and research papers, I would struggle at times. get frustrated, or even get jealous if someone got through the process faster. I don't recall enjoying the whole process, and it was like I have to trudge through this to get to that final milestone. All this pain is worth it for that eventual goal. But let's do the math here. I toiled for 4 years to get that 1 week of happiness. Because after a week of getting the degree, I was on to my next milestone. The point is not that I should not be ambitious or stop working towards my goals. But can I at least have some more fun along the way? Just like I loved to play basketball as a kid, could I have a positive attitude towards my research work also? I can recall having the opportunity to work alongside some of the most experienced faculty and the incredible work we did in those years. Every day was full of new challenges and learnings. The campus was amazing. I can just enjoy the ride rather than wait for the degree at the end of the tunnel. Then the math would have been like the whole 4 years equal to happy rather than just those 7 days equal to happy. As Greg Anderson puts it beautifully in this quote, focus on the journey, not the destination. Joy is found not in finishing an activity, but in doing it. Just to drive the point home, here's another one. Let's say I went on a hike. I wanted to get to the hilltop to get that amazing view of the area. But how long will I be at the top of the hill? Only a few minutes? Compare that to 4 to 6 hours it will take to hike all the way up. I might as well enjoy the hike, the companionship of friends, and the beautiful nature surrounding me, rather than being fixated at reaching the summit. I can't stress this point enough. I have shared it in my previous videos as well. Rooting in the present moment rather than striving for some future success criteria is the key to happiness. That is the crux of one of my favorite books, Power of Now. I have shared the link in the description below. If my poor mind is constantly chasing after that future event to get happiness, then surely I will never be happy. Happiness can only and only be found in the present moment. Studies in positive psychology show that external world depicts only 10% of our long-term happiness. 90% of our long-term happiness is not predicted by the external world, but the way our brain sees the external world. So train your brain to look for the positives in the now. Sean Acker, who spent over a decade living, lecturing, and researching at Harvard University, shares in his book, The Happiness Advantage, how a positive brain fuels success in work and life. That once we raise our level of positivity in the present, then our brain experiences what we call a happiness advantage and performs significantly better than when it is negative. Very simply put, it means that our happiness in the present moment increases our chances of being successful rather than the other way around. So you don't need to give up your ambition. In fact, enjoy the journey and you will have a higher chance of success. Negativity bias. One of the main reasons why we are not able to choose happiness all the time is because of the way our brain is wired. Negative experiences tend to affect us much more than positive ones. Suppose in my performance review, my boss told me 10 good things and 2 points to improve upon. My mind would keep pondering over those 2 points instead of celebrating the 10 good ones. Psychologists Paul Rosen and Edward Roisman coined this as negativity bias in their 2001 research paper, Negativity Bias, Negativity Dominance and Contagion. This negativity bias served us well when we were cavemen and always had the risk of being attacked by a wild beast. Our brains had to be on alert all the time and look out for any danger to save our lives. But this is not the case anymore, and we can choose to be happy if we are aware of the concept. There is a simple yet very powerful exercise. Personally, I have found this to be very helpful. Here it goes. Whenever you are upset about something or things are not going your way, instead of just churning the thoughts in your head, try to write them down. Write down whatever you are feeling at the moment. It's like emptying your head on the paper. Cry it out if you feel like, but just empty yourself. Don't hold all those negative emotions inside. Once you are done, you can tear these sheets of paper or burn them and see all the negative thoughts released from you. Once you feel a little better, try to find at least 5 positive things about the situation. Try and feel gratitude for all that is working for you. Very soon, you will find that there's a shift in your perspective and you are feeling much better. This is a very powerful exercise that teaches our mind to look for the positives in every situation and increases our happiness quotient. If we are unaware, then any negative external event has the power to steal our happiness. By being aware and by proactively practicing, we take the power back in our hand. And then, happiness is a choice and not at the mercy of external events. Helpers high. Close your eyes once again. Think of a moment in your life when you helped someone without asking for anything in return. It need not be something big. It could be as simple as helping a blind person cross the road, or helping an old lady carry the bag upstairs, or just helping a friend or a colleague. As you recall that incident, try to remember how you felt. When I recall such instances, I can see a smile on my face. My feet are lighter as I walk. There is something about that act that lingers on long after the event. My dad once volunteered for teaching underprivileged kids who could not afford formal education. While that was a one-off event, he never left and started teaching regularly. He says that he now sleeps better and can feel the excitement throughout the day of making a positive impact in someone's life. You must have all experienced the joy of giving. It's actually called the helper's high. When we work selflessly for others, we experience positive emotions called the helper's high. Improved health and longer life are associated with this psychological state. It happens because when we give selflessly, endorphins are released in our body and we feel happier. The levels of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, drops. The levels of serotonin, which is our body's happy transmitter, increase. Thus, as Dalai Lama says in his book, The Art of Happiness, cultivate universal compassion for a healthier, happier life. It is our body's natural anti-aging remedy. Albert Einstein has put it very beautifully. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Healthy relationships. In the Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest running studies on happiness, 724 men were followed since they were teenagers in 1938. The results had some interesting revelations. Researchers found that happiness doesn't come from money or fame or working hard. It comes from having close relationships. Director of the study said, tending to our relationships is a form of self-care. It has a very powerful influence on our health too. Note that it is not about the number of friends you have on social media or how many parties you are invited to. It's about having those relationships where you are comfortable sharing what is close to your heart. It is the strength these relationships give us that helps us tread life's discontents, help to delay mental and physical decline, and overall increase our happiness. In the book Ikigai, the authors researched the reasons why some specific cities have the highest concentration of centenarians. Okinawa is one such town in Japan. Among other things like being physically active, having a natural diet, etc., that contribute to a longer and happy life for the residents. One of the key ingredients was having a social support system and close bonds with family, friends, and neighbors. The residents often meet over tea or to celebrate small occasions. Be kind to yourself. You know it already. You know you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Yet, that's often easier said than done. Job titles, income, grades, house, and Facebook likes. The number of categories in which we can compare ourselves to others is infinite. So is the number of people we can compare ourselves to. Comparison is generally the fast track to unhappiness. It is a recipe for misery. All it does is keeping you focused on what you don't like about yourself and your life. Stop comparing and self-bashing. Be gentle with yourself. Comparing robs us of our joy because no matter what we have achieved, there will always be someone a notch higher. There will always be someone who's richer, smarter, more attractive than you are. Gratitude has really helped me with this. It helps me focus on what I have and be grateful for it rather than looking at what others have. And gratitude does not take our ambitions away. In fact, it helps us achieve more. Oprah said, "Be thankful for what you have. You will end up having more." If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. In fact, it's really helpful for our happiness when we appreciate where we are compared to where we were when we began. Am I a better version of myself? Shift that comparison to yourself. Earlier you versus you as of now. It's much more constructive to measure the gain rather than the gap. When comparing yourself to others, you focus on their strengths and ignore your own. So, go ahead and make a list of your achievements. It doesn't matter what they are, big or small, as long as they are something you are proud of. Note them down and revisit these pages often. Hit the brakes. If we were driving a car called life, we have our foot on the accelerator all the time. We never slow down. We want to go higher, further, faster. As the old saying goes, walk slowly and you will go far. When we leave urgency behind, life and time take on a new meaning. Applying brakes does not mean we don't do anything. The point is to keep working, but with a sense of calm. For instance, when we are going through our day-to-day chores, we are rushing through to get on to the next one. Water the plants fast, as I have to be somewhere else. I am watering the plant, but thinking of the next meeting. Could we just pause, hit the brakes just a little, take a deep breath, see the plants in front of us, admire the beauty, watch the water soaking the soil, and listen to the sound of water and smell the fragrance of flowers? It would still take only 5 minutes whether we think about that meeting or relax and enjoy the present moment. One more thing we can do is to add activities in our life that help us relax. Going for a walk, gardening, yoga, meditation, or anything else. Over the years, meditation has really helped me develop that sense of calm as I go about my duties. If you are starting out on your meditation journey, please do check out the videos that I have shared in the description below, where I explain the key aspects of meditation that one should keep in mind. The flow. When you are engaged in an activity that you really enjoy, time flies. It could be painting, dancing, playing a sport, coding, designing, or anything else. Before you realize it, hours could have passed. And while you are in that activity, you are fully focused and engrossed. You feel as if you could do it forever. Nothing bothers you at that moment. This is the flow. We spend a considerable amount of time in our lives doing the work we do, be it a job or business or whatever. If the activity that we feel in flow is also our occupation, then nothing like it. You are spending all those hours daily on an activity that not only generates wealth for you, but is also extremely fulfilling and would thus create immense happiness in your life. But only a few of us really get to that. Finding something we love, that we are good at, and that can also make money. We should continue to search for that passion. Some may find it early in their life, while some of us may struggle to find that for years, if at all we find it. But while we figure out that part, we can do something else. If not as the main occupation for now, we can at least find time to actively pursue them as hobbies. But make sure that the activity is challenging enough to keep you interested. If it is too easy, you will get bored after a while. And if too difficult, then you may give up too soon. In short, focus on increasing the time spent on doing the activities that bring you in the state of flow. Our life is nothing but a collection of choices. As the famous quote says, we are our choices. The same applies to happiness. If we practice, we can choose to be happy in any situation. Our happiness then would no longer be a slave to our external circumstances or to some other person. Hope some of these ideas in the video would resonate with you. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and do subscribe to the channel for more videos on building a healthy mind, body and soul.